Hello and welcome to my presentation for Cyber Commando, my final year project at Kingston University. So my game is a third-person action game where you play as Omega, the first prototype cyber commando developed by the World United Government, sent to hunt down the world's most notorious smuggler, Lucius Ironfang. Use your enhanced technology and abilities, fight your way through Ironfang's compound, and bring this criminal to justice. So the thing that's going to be fun about this game is that it's sort of a bombastic take on cyberpunk, and it's set in cyberpunk dystopian future. It's got some. I want to implement some unique weapons and ammo. It's going to have some challenging behavior. I want the real feeling of being a super soldier, so being able to take on any sort of combat challenge thrown your way. You should be able to overcome it. I was obviously heavily inspired by Cyberpunk 2077 for the aesthetic, some of the bright neon designs, flying cars, and then Gears of War purely for the third person combat field, the visceral combat, and the the audio cues for combat feedback, and some of the weapon design. I really appreciate some of the level design of Gears of War as well, and how they manage the amount of enemies you need to face. Some other inspirations are Ghost Recon, because again, that's a third person game, and I really like their movement and their stealth mechanics. And then some retro inspiration as well from cult films such as Predator and Judge Dredd. I really appreciate the Predator sort of stealth ideas and the cloaking system and the shoulder mounted projectile launcher, and Judge Dredd in terms of storyline and how you progress through the game. And now I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of what I've been doing in my prototype so far. So for Cyber Commando, the first thing to do was to make the third person character movement, because as I'm doing a third person character game, the third person movement was going to be really, really important. So I started with, these are most of the animations that I've implemented. Um, But again, I needed an 8-way sort of locomotion, so you can go back left, back forward, forward right, forward left, and then I have that for sprinting and walking back and walking back, and then I have, as I said, the sprinting, and that changes as well. Then I also have a crouch locomotion where he's slightly slower and he can't move quite as fast because I was going to use this for my stealth mechanics. So that is most of the movement. Oh, and a dodge roll as well, so he can get out of the way of fire if needs be. Okay, so next is, these are some of my test dummies, just to mess around with some combat mechanics, just to figure out what's working. I have a weapon system that's an E-num that changes the target weapon to the current weapon, and does all the checks for unequipping and equipping. Then I have a laser aiming system for each of my weapons so far. I also have actual projectiles that fire out instead of doing line traces, because I wanted it to feel quite sort of visceral. So when I shoot this guy a few times, there. So you can see that he reacts to it, and then once he's dead, he can't be moved around anymore. So if I now swap to my revolver, and I'll get a headshot with this, hopefully. Yeah, there you go. And now he has no head. And then I'll switch to my Predator launcher, which is the little launcher on his shoulder. And as you can see here, I haven't got any target set, so it's just firing wherever the laser is pointing. Then as soon as I assign this guy a target, and I can fire, and that will hit him and also generate some force as well. Another thing that I've been able to add is some grenade functionality. So this is my single grenade. And then if I just quickly change, if I just quickly change what I'm throwing. So I'm going to throw the holy hand grenade. I'm really pleased with this because it's not only does it look really cool, but I think in terms of combat, it's going to be a one-off use that you can find in a level somewhere. But yeah, it's quite effective. Oh, and I've also managed to implement slow down time as well. So you can see here, doing some slow-mo, sort of Matrix-esque, and then if I throw this, time should speed up now. Yeah, there we go. That will split, and then they split again. Bam, bam, bam. And that is my holy hand grenade. So yeah, quite a few things already implemented. The next sort of steps is going to be making some smart AI so that they don't just stand there and take it. And also working on cover system and start blocking out some levels for progression and pickups and things like that. So it's going quite well. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the results so far. I've had a lot of fun developing all of these different wacky sort of weapons, which are a lot of fun. Yeah, and I'm hoping to add quite a lot to this once it's done.